Welcome, everybody, to Ring Post Radio, the only show where one of the co-hosts joins us at 9:29. As we're
hey, you know, it's how I do. It's how I do. Listen. I have an excuse. You want to hear my excuse?
Yeah.
So last night, it's like, 3 o'clock. Not a great choice of time to go to bed, but I digress.
I mean, one would argue that's not even last night. One would argue
that's this morning, sure. And World Tag League's final starts. So I say, oh, you know what? I'll just throw it on in the background. That way I don't have to watch it later.
Mm-hmm. And is this
the match?
Is this the beginning of the show, or is this just?
No, it is the World Tag League final. The show started wicked early, so I was like, all right, 20 minutes go by. By the time I fall asleep, it'll be great. I'll have already watched it. This match went 40 minutes. People, 40 minutes. Just so that they could say, yeah, let's do this again at Wrestle Kingdom with half the time at least. Unbelievable. I was like, why am I even watching this? What is the point of this? And what, around like the 20-minute mark of the match, I was like, oh, you know what? This was a pretty good match. And then it went 20 more minutes. Unbelievable. But other than that, I'm doing great.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Ryan Knightsey. With me, as always, is Scotty Edwards. If you wanted a quick, we have a jam-packed show. I know last week we talked about last week's show being jam-packed. This show is actually jam-packed. And guess what we can check off our list? World Tag League Final Review. Oh, that's off.
You are welcome.
We're flying through.
If anyone's wondering, the better World Tag League Final was in All Japan. You're welcome.
Yes, I've heard
a lot shorter too.
I've heard great things about that match. I saw speaking about the World Tag League Final, and they're just kind of doing a rematch for and presumably unifying the strong title with the rest of the tag titles. I saw I want to say it was like the Super J-Cast Twitter account. They tweeted out how most of the card is just rematches from this year.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, New Japan. Oh no. But we'll talk about Wrestle Kingdom, I guess, later, but still, Jesus pieces right there.
It's not great, but
no.
Well, I was thinking about last night. We're gonna talk a little bit of Wrestle Kingdom right now, folks. You're welcome, everyone. Early preview. No, just talking about two matches. So I'm watching Bryan Danielson, right? As I've proclaimed multiple times this week, no one's better on the planet Earth than Bryan Danielson right now at the whole professional wrestling thing. Right?
He's pretty good.
He's the best. He's better than everyone, including Mr. Ospreay. Right now, oh my God, would take him over anyone. And I was saying how, if Danielson's able to get to Okada, and of course that's a big if at this point. I think we could all agree, right? This man's having 2 matches a week. And he's not only having 2 matches a week, he's trying in every match. So it's like there's no slowing him down. So
there's no reason really to book him on Ring of Honor, but guess what? He's working Ring of Honor now.
Exactly, and that match is probably going to be incredible. So it's like, man, Bryan Danielson in the Tokyo Dome is going to be an incredible lead-in to a Naito Wrestle Kingdom main event. If you just don't look at the entire rest of the card and you just look at the last 2 matches, man, it's going to be cool. It's going to be very cool. I know everyone's like kind of down on the Sonata Naito thing, but guys, like Naito's an otherworldly in these big matches. So like, I'm just excited for that. And I just had to share that because, those are the thoughts that were going through my head yesterday. And that's my Wrestle Kingdom, digest. You're welcome.
Perfect.
That's 2 rants before our first topic.
We haven't even gotten to the first topic. I mean, we're 5 minutes in. We're already ranting. I mean, that's
thank you.
I was gonna say, what other podcast does that? And I was like,
all of them.
Every podcast that has 2 white males always opens with a rant. That's my Ryan Knightsey guarantee. Well, speaking of 2 white males, we have a big show for us to get to.
Speaking of 2 white males.
Jesus. Hold on. I lost it. Where'd it go? Oh, there.
Yeah.
It didn't play.
I heard it.
You heard it? I didn't hear it. What the fuck? I didn't hear it at all. Oh, well.
You know what I say to that?
Go fuck yourself.
All right, let's go.
The show is off to something today. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. Thank you for joining us for Ring Post Radio. Like we said, we have a big show to get to. If you have any comments throughout the show, we got a little, thing ticker going across the screen. If you're watching us live, of course, you can leave a chat on YouTube.
If you're not watching us live, I'll just assume you watched the World Tag League final.
Which is fair. You woke
live.
up. I gotta get my Yoshihashi in.
I saw multiple people up watching it. And I was stunned.
Hey, it was a raucous event. So put a comment in the YouTube chat if you have any thoughts about anything we're talking about as we're speaking. Conversely, you can also leave us a voicemail, 2525 Ring PR. We would listen to those on the next episode. That actually brings up a bit I was going to do through the episode. Maybe we'll do the bit. Should we do the bit? I think we have time for the bit.
I don't know what it means, so yeah, go nuts.
We didn't even discuss this bit.
Really discussed that. I showed up 2 minutes early.
You showed up at 9:28. It was literally like, all right, let's go. We listened to Swerve's music and Danielson's music, and then we started the show, which is totally fine. This is how we do things. We're professionals over here. But what I was going to say is that I wanted to do a little bit that was sort of a mailbag segment, and sort of because we get comments on the YouTube clips that we upload. And I wanted to sort of go through as sort of like kind of like if we had voicemails at 2525 Ring PR, then people could we would play those voicemails now sort of as a mailbag reaction to the last week's episode. And so I sort of have that a little bit with these round of comments from our latest episode. We'd like to know any of the comments from our latest episode, Scotty.
Yeah.
Connor Hurston 2613 said, "Yeah, time to move Starlight Kid and Azame up. They both should at least get the white belt title matches next year."
You're welcome, everyone.
Starlight Kid returns from injury. Yeah, I mean, do you agree with that? Do you think we talked about how Azame should have very least?
I have been pleading for these things. It's time to move people up the card in Stardom. So yes, I do agree. I think that was my whole thing last week with Azumi. But yeah, you can add Starlight Kid into that combo as well.
Connor Hurston also goes on and says he wonders if Rossi would go to Seria Nu and work out a deal for her to stay with Stardom full time for a few more months. That way she could win the white belt at Dream Queendom and lose it at the spring show in March or April, whenever that is.
It depends when Sukeban comes around again.
You're telling me that Sukeban has more leverage over Stardom?
I have no idea how much they pay, but it's a contract she signed to, so contracts you have to deal with.
At Bobby Batito, list of challengers that I'd like to see wrestle Julia for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Here we go. He wrote 10 people, 10 women here.
Okay.
Ready?
All right. Let me hear it.
Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah.
Trisha Dora.
Sure. That's happening.
Lady Frost.
Sure.
Mercedes Martinez.
Sure.
I feel like that could have been fun like 5 years ago.
Julia was not this good 5 years ago. So
no. I'll say 5 years ago, Mercedes Martinez. Masha Slamovich.
Yeah, sure.
Miyu Yamashita.
Never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen, but sure, that'd be fine. Maki Ito, same thing. Never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen.
But sure. Emi Sakura.
That could happen.
Could happen. Janai Kai. Julia does MLW one shot, maybe.
Sure.
Sure.
Oh my god, Hikaru Shida's at Glate. Sorry. Yeah, good. Sorry.
Late.
My brain is fried.
This is the warm up. This is the warm up before we get to the show. That's what the whole idea of this mailbag segment is, warming into it,
Yeah. I'm feeling warm, feeling toasty.
Let's get into the show. Let's get into the show then. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about.
It's 11 minutes in. Let's get into the show, baby. Here we go.
Why not?
Here we go.
We have a bunch of free agent conversation to have. Starting off with the man, the myth, the legend, not Scotty Edwards, the man, the myth, legend, Kazuchika Okada from New Japan.
Well, a free agent. If anyone would like to sign me to a lucrative contract,
Hey, Stardom, you need English commentary. What are we doing? Kazuchika Okada. Kazuchika Okada is. We talked about him a little bit last week.
is he good? Question mark.
Yeah, that's the question. We talked a little bit about last week about, or was it last week, 2 weeks ago? Whenever it was like WWE was like interested in him. Well, we have, and then following that up with, his contract's up at whatever at the end of January. In the Observer this past week, because not Dave Meltzer. Was it Dave Meltzer? No, Sports Illustrated. It reported. My apologies. Sports Illustrated reported that Kazuchika Okada's contract expires at the end of January. And he is, quote, said to be seriously entertaining the idea of signing with a promotion other than New Japan. Of course, I want to say later in the week, not just maybe that day, but later in the week, he then goes to work TNA's upcoming television taping in the new year. Still would be in January, so still would be part of the New Japan contract. But the idea of, maybe TNA is in running for Kazuchika Okada. Maybe AEW, maybe WWE. What do you think? Do you think this is all smoke and that he's just going to end up and trying to leverage a better contract for New Japan so he can stay in home side for him? Or do you think there is fire to the smoke and that there's a good chance that Kazuchika Okada is leaving New Japan at the end of January, along with Will Ospreay?
I think like 95% of it is smoke. The 5% is WWE telling Sports Illustrated that his contract's up at the end of the month, or someone that isn't a New Japan official or something like that. Like, to me, one, I don't think Kazuchika Okada is leaving because, as Dave Meltzer has stated many times over the past week, a top guy in Japan, like the top guy, the tippity top guy of Japanese professional wrestling, doesn't leave. It's just not something that happens. And while we are in a different age, I think, many people like to allude to the yen being down and the popularity of WWE and AEW up. The AEW is obviously, like, overall, they're still up. I just don't see how anything makes sense with Okada leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling. Maybe he'll do more dates, but it's just not going to happen. His wife is more famous than him. She's an actress that works for Bushiroad. And she's not going to move to America, to do this. And sure, if he were to sign with AEW, maybe they'd let him live in Japan. But how possible is that, really? He's not going to be involved in anything then. We see how Kota Ibushi's handled. He's around once a month. You want Okada to be signed to a contract to be around once a month, if that? No, thank you. He also has a child. I don't know if people remember that. He has a kid that he wants to probably take care of while in Japan. So yeah, no, I just don't see it happening. I know people say, like, well, he's done everything in New Japan, blah 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 blah. They need him. They need him to put over the younger new generation. They need him to keep leading them. They just need Okada. Like, I'll say this: they will let everyone in that company leave before they let Okada leave. They will do everything in their power to get him. He's got sponsorship deals with all these companies in Japan. He's got a big contract, probably the biggest in wrestling over in Japan. I just don't see him going anywhere. He's just too valuable to everything that is wrestling in Japan.
Yeah, I think I pretty much agree. I think this idea of Kazuchika Okada leaving I think, like, if I was Captain New Japan, and I have my shield, my mask on, I would be sitting there thinking to myself, holy shit, we can't have Ospreay and Okada leave. We just had Jay White leave earlier this year, or earlier or mid 2023 or whatever. We can't lose another top guy. We can't lose three top guys in a year's span. That just simply cannot happen. So you have to stop the bleeding on that. And you're right. I think Okada, if I wanted to be devil's advocate, maybe he does the sort of idea of, oh, maybe like Ospreay, he's got a kid, he wants to go to WWE and make more money. And it's like, yeah, that might be true, but also
I don't
the kid would
see
probably
him
be
needing to
there.
make more money. I think
No,
he has plenty of money. That's the
but
thing.
you also brought up the great point of he has we can probably safely assume the highest money contract in all of Japanese wrestling today, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that is,
And no one else has given him that sponsorship for that nasty ass burger that he has.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
That might be the most important one.
But yeah, no one, he has the most money. Could he make more money in WWE? I mean, I have no idea what his contract is, but maybe, I don't know.
I mean, usually
Yeah. So
this is how WWE works, but
I think at the end of the day, it's just, if I recall correctly, last time his contract was up, it was conversations of maybe him hopping over to WWE and whatnot. So, I mean, I think it's mostly smoke, as you said.
And Meltzer even said, like, the reason this is being talked about because it just feels more possible than before, but that doesn't mean it's happening. It just means he might actually take a little more consideration because he's a little bit older and things like that. I can't see a world where New Japan goes forward without Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah, it would be literally, like we said, 3 top guys leaving in a year.
3 top guys, including the guy.
Yeah.
The most important person.
Company. Yeah.
With Naito's knees giving out and Tanahashi obviously old, like this can't happen. And I don't think it will. And I think they are going to do everything in their power to keep him. Listen, I'm giving him a position of power at this point to make sure he doesn't leave if needed. It's just how you got to do it.
Yeah, easy peasy. More free agency conversation. Not necessarily a free agent yet, but there is, according to Andrade and I guess also Dave Meltzer, it is believed his AEW contract is up, quote, relatively soon. Dave Meltzer said this on Wrestling Observer Radio, quote, his deal is coming up relatively soon unless it's extended or something because of time off or injuries or whatever. But he thinks that his deal is up pretty soon. And so he wanted to go back in case he ends up going to WWE, basically saying go back to CMLL. He's not made a decision what he's doing next. He's not signed a new deal, but if he does go to WWE, he knows he can't go back to Arena Mexico. This sort of then follows up with, the confirmation that Andrade is working CMLL next Friday, I think it was.
Yeah. We're not waiting, brother.
Eat your heart out, Rampage.
Eat your heart out, Final Battle, baby.
Yeah, baby. So he's working next Friday against a trios tag. Let me pull up that trios tag.
Oh, it's going to be glorious.
The article that in the Observer F4W Online, I should say, also talks about how it was believed he signed a 3-year deal in June 2021. So you can either say relatively soon is any month now, or you could say relatively soon is June 2024.
Unless they add on time.
Which exactly. It's presumably June 2024 is when his contract's over, unless they add. I don't remember how many months he was gone, but I guess
forever.
We don't really know in AEW.
Brother was gone forever.
And yes, he has a match next week in CMLL. Mystico, Atlantis Jr., and Star Jr., 2 people, Mystico and Atlantis Jr., popping up in that match that we talked about last week, versus Andrade El Idolo, Soberano Jr., and Angel de Oro.
He's already on the road outside. Beautiful.
What do you think about Andrade working CMLL? Do you think this is an indicator of him potentially going back to WWE, or his contract coming up soon and returning to WWE?
I mean, it's always possible. His wife's there, wouldn't be a crazy idea, right? But listen, folks. This is like the best possible way for CMLL to celebrate a banner year for them. They bring back La Sombra. And not only do they bring back La Sombra, they put him not one-on-one, but they put him against Mystico. That's right there, folks. is why CMLL deserves your attention. Nothing more, nothing less. Oh, but if you want more attention, also on that show is a rematch between Rocky Romero and Mascara Dorada.
An MLW rematch?
Shut up. No, it's CMLL rematch from earlier this year. How dare you? This show looks incredible based on those two matches alone, because it's going to be worth your money, those two matches alone. I can't wait to see Andrade back in CMLL. I love Andrade. I think he's excellent, and I think him and Mystico are going to just do incredible work in there. I am going to say that this show has all the momentum for the Friday night shows. 100% out of the shows that you got to buy one way or the other to see. I'm taking this over Final Battle, folks. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Lucha Blog is going to have a field day of explaining to people how to purchase this show.
Yeah, have fun with that. But I will say that had Ring of Honor went differently and, had care and anything more than what it is outside of Athena, Athena's stuff has had care. One thing out of 50 things. Congratulations. I feel like Andrade could have easily been on the show once upon a time, but here's the thing: Ring of Honor doesn't have care. I saw those ticket sales. They had to toss poor Bryan Danielson on there to try to boost them. That poor guy. This guy. When AEW needs someone to save the day, it's no one else. It's always Bryan Danielson. For some reason, the Elite can never just come in and save the day. I don't know why. I'm not blaming the Elite. It just happens to be that way.
I mean, I will say another person that always saves the day is Moxley. He's also in that match.
Yeah, it's just those two. Oh, you guys need a match? Oh, you need someone to fill in? Oh, okay. Here you go. Them every time. And I just, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about them. I'm complaining about the situation. But I can't wait for Andrade back at CMLL. I think that's, however long it lasts, I'm going to enjoy it. Him versus Mystico is going to move mountains. Just say, like, oh my God, can you imagine the playing to the crowd for 25 minutes? 5 stars. 5 stars already thinking about it.
Yeah. Speaking on the idea of Andrade potentially going back to WWE, I mean, like we said, his contract seemingly is up in the middle of summer. If it got extended, then that relatively soon becomes way longer. I think the more, unlike the Okada smoke to fire, if I had to give an analogy, I think it's just sort of like a mirror maze of like distraction here. I think it's like, yeah, he obviously wants to work CMLL before his contract runs up. Whether or not he goes to the WWE, who knows? But we also don't forget is like, AEW and CMLL have a working partnership now. So probably part of that partnership is getting some AEW talent in Arena Mexico. And guess what? La Sombra is the guy that's returning first, which makes sense. So yeah, I think that, at the very least, this could last for the next 6 months. We get Andrade and CMLL. He can work off all those guys. Him and Rocky can maybe get some guys over on AEW television. And
Andrade's the man. So anything that involves Andrade, I'm all for. He's gotten better and better and better since coming back. I think this run has been like Andrade that we want to see.
This has been a really good, consistent run for him.
Yeah, it helps that he's not like ginormous anymore. I mean, he's still huge. Don't get me wrong, but when he first came back, he was huge.
I would say it's not necessarily that he's not ginormous anymore. It's that he's figured out how to work his weight.
That too. Maybe I think he's just a slightly smaller. I'm probably wrong. It's fine. Either way, I love Andrade. I think he's been doing great work in the Continental Classic and now following up by returning to CMLL. That's exciting. And he's going to have a collision match the day after. He has to. We're running out of time. He's one behind. He has the least matches.
I like that they caught up Danielson and now Andrade and Brody King are behind. And I was like, what? What happened? What happened?
It doesn't make sense. I think Brody, I think you're right. Brody King's now behind too. God, what are we doing? Are we talking about the Continental Classic on the show? I believe we are, right? So I'm not going to say
we are.
anything yet. All right. So yeah, pay attention.
Yeah, you pay. Yeah, of course.
Well, we got comments.
We got comments.
Andrade is the best.
Yes, Far says Andrade is the best Carney. I mean, yeah.
Damn right he is.
He's up there. He's I mean, he probably understands that his deal's coming up and he's trying to start the conversation.
I think it was
working CMLL.
Rob Viper. Is it Rob Viper?
Yeah.
That made us great the red ones. How he was like talking about it was like what everyone calls Rouge. And he's like, no, that's actually Andrade. And I was like,
yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah, yeah, that's completely accurate. Rouge is trying to live up to that Andrade lifestyle.
Would you say they're probably apart because Andrade wanted to go back to CMLL?
I don't know. I mean, Rouge was injured for so long, and Andrade was around, so they kind of just probably wanted to use him.
It felt like they were alluding it to it. Remember though when Andrade came back?
Yeah. I'm surprised that they haven't. Yeah.
Sorry. Wait. I'm gonna remember her name. CJ Perry. There we go.
Yeah. I'm surprised that they haven't interacted them in any capacity.
Yeah.
Like it's just like we've just forgotten that Andrade is the leader of LFI. So I don't know what that is, but
Rouge.
It is.
I like just saying that every time he comes out. Rouge. All right, whatever.
Big Rouge heads over here. More free agency conversation. Deonna Purrazzo from Impact Wrestling. It was reported from Fightful Select that Purrazzo will become a free agent on January 1st. As per the report, no deal with Impact has been reached, and one of the reasons is because Purrazzo is looking to explore options with other promotions. Her last day of the promotion is this weekend's Impact Wrestling Final Resolution taping in Canada. So, Deonna Purrazzo seemingly not making the jump to TNA, unless it doesn't seem like she's going to try to make that jump to TNA. Where do you think an interesting conversation that we haven't had really in a while, and the world has sort of changed in pro wrestling? Where would we like to see Deonna Purrazzo pop up next in wrestling?
I don't know. Because like I really like Deonna. I think she's great. Like I really do. I think she's great. I think she's the number 2 best women's free agent now.
Yeah.
Mercedes Moné is still a free agent. So until we decide what that is.
Until we figure out what's also happening with Julia, then Deonna.
Julia's not a free agent though. Okay, Julia's not a free agent. Deonna is.
I'm not saying she is. I'm not saying she is. I'm saying when we figure out whatever is down the line.
Like I don't know what's best for Deonna, because for me it always was she would be a perfect person to get pushed in AEW as a top women's wrestler. But that was about like 2 years ago or a year ago or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do I want her to come in and then not wrestle? That's a serious question. Do I want her to do that? No, I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I still think that's the best place for her, I guess, between that and WWE, because I just like she's done the WWE thing. I think she would be under.
I would argue she hasn't done the WWE.
Well, she hasn't, but she has. Like she knows the experience.
She was there for years, and they barely used her.
Like the best case scenario for her, at least for the next year, if she went to WWE, would be teaming with Chelsea Green.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I think she's better than that. No offense, but I think she is. If I'm Tony Khan, which again, Tony Khan in women's wrestling isn't always the perfect combination. No. He's an ECW, Ring of Honor, New Japan fan, so I'm shocked that women's wrestling isn't at the forefront. I think she's someone that could come in and maybe replace Athena on Ring of Honor while doing some AEW.
I was 100% going to bring that up. I don't know if AEW, the women's division right now, is the perfect spot for Deonna Purrazzo.
She'd fit on the Collision show, because the Collision show, that's like the Chris Statlander, Mercedes Martinez, Willow Nightingale universe.
That's probably true.
Which I like. So
I think if we're in theory bumping Athena up, right? Post Final Battle. If that's the if I had to read the tea leaves of what's happening on if everyone's talking about, then bringing in Deanna as the follow-up to that and taking over sort of the women's spot that Athena left, I think is honestly a good move. Obviously, she was a former Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She is obviously, as Far points out in the chat, she's main evented a Dynamite before by losing the Ring of Honor Women's title to Mercedes Martinez.
She was defending the title. You were not wrong.
Unsuccessfully defending the Ring of Honor Women's title on Dynamite. So she presumably has some sort of, not necessarily working relationship, but has worked with Tony Khan and these producers before. That being said, I think a Ring of Honor, AEW, like we said, AEW's women's division is a little weird right now. Ring of Honor, I think, if we're bumping up Athena, then slotting Deonna Purrazzo straight in, she can feud with Billy Starks, and she can help that women's division out. I think that's a good hole that she can fill up.
I have a comment to read. I got this from my friend Xavi, who's watching. He said,
you're getting private comments?
Yeah, I am. He said, I want to see Glee and Tony Khan go head to head in a who cares about women less contest. All right, let's move on.
Oh, God.
Hikaru Shida, by the way, booked in Glee, like I said earlier. She's fighting the Inabas, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, actually, that is pretty cool. That's interesting. Who's she teaming with?
They're the Fukuda, who doesn't like to wrestle.
Perfect.
She thinks she's an MMA wrestler, but can't win a shoot fight. So
great, perfect.
She's good when they do like an actual pro wrestling match, which she never does. So never mind.
Perfect. Deonna Purrazzo, I think Ring of Honor is a good spot. I mean, is there any chance she goes?
Well, AEW overall,
yeah,
I think she's better than just Ring of Honor. She should be someone that they use on both, truthfully. Like I said, put her in that Collision realm, and then Ring of Honor as well. Maybe she gets a Julia match beforehand.
Yeah, that Julia Hart, you mean?
No. Well, I mean, sure. I think that would be good too.
What percent chance of her going to WWE? I would say maybe AEW Ring of Honor is a higher percent chance. So maybe I would do like 60-40. That's probably where I'm sitting. I think WWE is a 40% chance. I think it's as high as that.
Yeah, I think they certainly have a shot. I never would rule WWE out. Depends how much Chelsea tells her that she's liked it since being back. That's pretty much how I read it.
I think that's a fair read.
Chelsea's been a champion pretty much the entire time she's been back. Not a champion that does much, but a champion nonetheless.
In her defense, it's a tag team champion with her partners constantly getting injured. So maybe true. Maybe Deonna doesn't want to go to WWE.
Maybe Deonna sees and be like, wait a minute, this is my chance to get a belt.
Great point. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with her. The final bit of news that we wanted to talk about as well was WWE house shows, right? We got that news that came out this week. WWE.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Oh, sorry, not WWE's, but Endeavor's, if I'm not mistaken. No, TKO Chief Operating Officer Mark Shapiro had like sort of a talkback thing where he talked about WWE and UFC and all their future of the financing or how they operate as a company or whatever. And he mentioned one thing that struck out for a lot of people at Monday's UBS media conference. This is from the Observer F4W Online. Mark Shapiro said, while house shows are good for the brand, building an audience and bringing the brand to C and D counties from a margin perspective, they're dilutive. Great word there. Basically, there's probably an opportunity as we go through our synergies and efficiency, yada, 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 to cut back on some of these non-televised events, which, of course, will push our margin up. So we had that sort of conversation of WWE might be cutting back on the house show market, especially in the C and D countries, or not countries, counties. WrestleNomics ran a report saying this for 2023, WWE only ran 23 house shows in the C or D counties. So not a big cutback, but 23 house shows is, it's a number. It's a number there. And if they cut back even more into the A's and B's, then we'll see from there. But what do you think? Do you think that's a good idea for WWE to cut back on house shows? Do you think it's a bad idea? I think there's pros and cons to both. What do you think, Scotty?
Overall, I think it's like 25, 26 shows that they're cutting, which is unnoticeable if you didn't know. I think.
Yeah, let me look up to see how many house shows they've done this year real quickly.
Yeah. So like I think it's fine. You just don't want to get rid of all of them because I think for wrestlers, they enjoy those house shows, right? Like, and I always say this to AEW, like I think wrestlers want to wrestle in front of people. That is the entire job. That is the entire thing. And I think that's part of the job for them. And then, you and me talked about, will that affect contracts down the line? I don't think it will affect the contracts of a Cody Rhodes or someone like that realm, but it could the undercard, right? The undercard that gets on those shows, maybe they pay them a little less money because one, they're not going to use them they barely use them on TV, let alone using them on house shows. I think that's the only possibility there. They're probably losing money on these shows, which is why they're getting rid of it. So it makes sense business wise for WWE, Endeavor, TKO, whichever of the three realms of conversation you'd like to discuss. So I think it's overall, it's probably going to be more of a plus for them than anything else. I don't think we'll get to a point where it affects this company all too bad. Because assuming it has nothing to do with like NXT, right? Like the Florida loop that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I assume as long as it doesn't include that, because I think that Florida loop is very important for them. As far just noted, I didn't even see that. NXT cops can learn to work at a diverse crowd, gaining reps rather than always wrestling in front of the same 300 people on Tuesdays. Yeah, that's true. That too. That's why I like the loop. That's why I like the house shows. I think it does them a lot of good. It's why you and me talk about like development and how, I know people will like to have this fight all the time about AEW versus WWE development and stuff like that. It's really hard for wrestlers in AEW to develop because they don't have these shows just to try new things and work. And not every wrestler is taking indie bookings, right? Not every lower card wrestler is taking indie bookings. So I think these house shows are huge for WWE, and they always have been.
I'm going through Cage Matches database real quick to see how many house shows they've done. They've done a total of 154 house shows so far this year, with 13 more slated. If I had to subtract,
how many?
154 with 13 more slated.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
if they count 20, if they cut 26 from that, will I notice? No.
Well, if I cut, basically the cuts I'm making right now is, all right, I got 167 minus 13 because they haven't done them yet. But I guess it'll be 167 total. So I'm working 154 minus 28 minus 23. That is subtracting all of the NXT house shows, because I'm not entirely sure if those count as CD counties or whatever. And then, just because the Cage Match database doesn't really help me out here, it has the house shows, but it also has all the pay-per-views in here. So I gotta just quickly go through and subtract the pay-per-views. I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pay-per-views. So I am at, if I have my math correctly, 91 main roster house shows. And if you subtract, what do we say, 23 from that? I don't know. What's 23 divided by 91? That's about a quarter of the house shows. Fun little napkin math for everybody. So basically, if we're not talking NXT, I don't really know what they consider the C&D counties. I have to look at I clicked off the WrestleNomics thing. But let's say for at least the main market of the main roster, we're talking potentially cutting a quarter of the house shows out of the WWE tour schedule. I think it's interesting because, like we said, we've always talked about how AEW should be running more house shows. I think there's an opportunity for AEW to maybe squeeze themselves into these markets. They might not be big money markets or anything. It might be a money loss, but the reason WWE has been doing them for so long, and despite being a loss leader, continued to do it. I mean, part of it is because it's a loss leader. The whole idea is you're going to spend your money, you're going to lose money on these house shows, but it's an opportunity for your wrestlers to wrestle in front of a different, diverse crowd. Not just on Dynamite or whatnot, or Rampage or Collision, but also it's an opportunity for you to almost build up the surrounding fan base of, let's say, in Atlanta, Georgia, as an example, the surrounding fan base of Atlanta, Georgia, that when you run Atlanta, those people will know your brand and come to State Farm Arena and try to sell the show.
I hope none of these events are in Canada, because I need AEW to stop going there for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the other thing is I'm sure some of these house shows. I didn't even look at the actual cities, but yeah, I mean some of these are also
gonna give up on Corpus Christi. I think they did long ago, but my god, those used to be the worst crowds ever when I used to watch Raw.
Yeah, there's also an interesting thing of I assume there's something interesting because I'm interested to see how the money shakes out. If you're cutting, wrestlers getting paid for house shows, right? Obviously they have guaranteed contracts and whatnot, but there's this idea of like, okay, if we're going to cut out a quarter of these house shows, if you're working 25 less dates, how does that affect paycheck? I don't think it's going to paycheck for a lot of the higher up. I don't think it's going to affect Cody Rhodes at all.
Not at all.
But I don't know. I don't know why, but Dragon Lee was the first one came to my head. He doesn't need the reps, but he's low on the total.
Has he even wrestled on a house show yet?
Maybe. I have no idea.
I don't think he has. I think he wrestled on every other show.
For your I don't know, Akira Tozawa is wrestling on a house show probably.
Shout out to Akira Tozawa.
For those people that are lower on the totem pole, that that is, they're not really wrestling on Raw or SmackDown. That's the reps they're getting. That's basically the most of the paychecks that they're getting here at this point. How does that affect them? I'm intrigued because, if I'm re-upping a contract and I just cut 20 dates out of your contract, is WWE going to react with, we're going to give you the same rate as before, or even increase your rate as before with less dates?
I'll tell you why.
Go ahead.
AEW exists. So yeah.
And that's a great point. One of the big things about AEW is that they have less dates and they can offer big time money with less dates. Now WWE might have an opportunity where they can offer big time money with less dates. So it's going to be an interesting one. Farr also points out there's also the merch aspect of all of this is you now have it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, they sell merch at all these shows. How does losing 25 events and house shows, how does that affect merch sales? How does that affect everything from there? Like we said, all of these sort of things are loss leaders. They're not making a whole lot of money. But this idea of, well, they're making some money. Now that money is going to be going away too in the merchandise. So it's an interesting one. I don't know. I mean, they're obviously thinking about it. I think it's a prime opportunity, like I said, for AEW to squeeze themselves into it. Whether or not they do that, I mean, they did 4 house shows this year and then called it a day. So we'll see. I mean, maybe TNA is going to take over those house show tours. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen with them. Speaking of TNA, let's talk about their pay-per-view from last night. Scotty, did you watch Impact Final Resolution? We didn't talk about this beforehand, but did you watch Impact Final Resolution?
How was I going to watch it?
I don't know if I'm watching it.
You think I was going to buy it? You're nuts.
Well, we're not going to talk about Impact Final Resolution. That's why.
Did you watch it?
No, I couldn't.
I know you didn't watch it. That's why I said there's no chance I'm watching this. I'm not. I wanted to see one match from that show. One.
Did you watch that one match?
Here. I'll give you the final Impact show things that you need to know right now. Okay. Giselle Shaw.
A watchless review of
Giselle Shaw. Giselle Shaw attacked Deonna Purrazzo in Deonna Purrazzo's final date with the company. Okay. You all right? You listening to me?
Yeah. They're doing the Rascals and ABC for the 19th time.
Okay. They're doing the Rascals and ABC for the 19th time. Okay. You listening to me? Yeah. 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 You li Sound does that spike your tea? Does that get you all jolly inside? I don't know. I was trying to make it Christmas and I just couldn't get there.
Spike your tea feels almost like offensive against Southerners.
Trent Seven signed with TNA. Does that excite you, Ryan?
That Rev Pro relationship working strong.
I literally wrote to you when that happened. I was like, well, TNA's bad. It's back. All right, this stinks. That match was supposed to be Mike Bailey versus Trey Miguel, and somehow it became Mike Bailey and Trent Seven versus the Rascals.
Yeah.
The Rascals, who, mind you, lost despite attacking the tag team champions, I'm pretty sure. Maybe they didn't. I have no idea. Maybe I saw a different clip. Does that excite you? The first signing of TNA that's appeared on TV is Trent Seven. Does that make you all holly jolly inside?
You know, you hear these reports about Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, and then the result is Trent Seven.
I'm happy you say Kazuchika Okada. They announced Kazuchika Okada's return match to TNA.
Mm-hmm.
He's wrestling Moose.
I got it right. I got close.
You did. You said, well, he's going to team with Motor City Machine Guns. You just didn't say he was going to team against people that no one wants to see. He's going to team against Moose, Eddie Edwards, and Brian Myers.
I feel so bad for Brian Myers because, like, he's fully reached the status of, well, I know who's taking the pin here.
Here's the one discussion point I'll give you here, okay? There is a possibility that Moose is Impact World Champion at this time. Sorry, TNA World Champion at this time. That's all I can give you. That's the only level of excitement. Am I going to watch the match? Of course I'm going to watch the match because I'm a freak. But still, I'm dying over here. Take the wheel.
He's dying. Yeah, that's not great. And I didn't think about Moose being the TNA World Champion, and then I remembered during the pandemic him bringing back the TNA World Title. And obviously it, like, when Omega got it and he has an extra belt and all that stuff. I forgot that he took that from Moose. And I was like, oh yeah, Moose could easily just bring that back again. Or
former
something.
Fake TNA World Champion Moose.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
Time. Far says AEW is losing 60% to 70% of merch sales.
Yeah,
true?
I have no idea. Who
reported that? Far, let me know who reported that, please.
I was going to ask that. I was looking up online to see if I can find anything, but I haven't seen that report. Anyway.
So is that like just CM Punk's merch sales?
Well, he says over the last 2 years. That would be with Punk. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh, well, I meant if it meant now. I don't know. Maybe I misread it. Anyways, back to Impact. The main event went 28 minutes.
Yeah, baby.
That's still 12 minutes shorter than the World Tag League final between Bishamon and the Gorillas of Destiny featuring ELP. I will put money on one of those being better than the other, and it being the Impact one.
If I'm not mistaken, that's also 12 minutes lower than Jacob Fatu versus.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. Far, yeah. I think Sean said that he never reported that. I think you're right. So I don't think that. I think it's something that maybe someone made up sales-wise.
Yeah, I'm scrolling around on Twitter and Google and stuff looking for anything else.
I remember seeing a tweet from Sean that said he was kind of angry that people were doing that and running with it. So,
okay, that's good to hear.
You're well. That, folks, is your final Impact review.
Well, I apologize for not watching, but I had a migraine and I fully thought Impact was on Tuesday this week.
And you were partying.
Yeah, I had a migraine in the morning, and then I went to a Friendsgiving party thing that night.
See, here's the problem with the Impact show. We can usually watch it if it's on Friday, but switching it to Saturday, was not happening. Because, I'm not gonna say what.
Well, let's move on to actual stuff that we did watch. Well, actually, I guess the rest is reviews and previews. What do you want to talk about? AEW. Let's do AEW Continental Classic. Let's talk about that.
I watched that.
Yeah, I know for a fact you watched that. I haven't watched Dynamite or Collision this week for obvious reasons because I didn't watch last night, and I don't know why I didn't watch Dynamite.
What is the obvious reason for Dynamite?
I think the obvious reason for Dynamite is I'm in my migraine neck pain phase again. So like staring at a screen, I just couldn't do it. I'm in that phase again. That's why I'm wearing glasses on the video screen. I never
What
wear.
kind of freakazoid are you?
I'm the freakazoid that can't look at screens too long before his eyes hurt.
We have an hour and 10 minutes to go. Shit.
We're rolling into this. AEW Continental Classic. This is a classic radio where like we come in with the professionalism. We got a bunch of shows, and it just like devolves into chaos over here. And I think that's what people want. I think that's what people want here.
That's what the people want. They want to hear me talk about World Tag League.
Yeah.
Nice.
What else do they want to hear you talk about, Scotty? Next Final Resolution.
Final Battle.
Yeah.
Okada.
Mid.
Hey! Whoa! Hey!
AEW Continental Classic. We're in the thick of it here. We have as of press time, which I believe is literally to last night's Collision. We have in the Blue League Andrade, Brody King, Bryan Danielson at 6 points, with Andrade and Brody King one match down compared to everybody else. Eddie Kingston and Claudio Castagnoli at 3 points. Daniel Garcia at 0 points, effectively eliminated from the competition.
You watch Rampage?
Did I watch Rampage? No, I haven't watched Rampage. I didn't watch AEW at all.
I figured you didn't watch Rampage if you don't watch the other two, but you know what? It was worth asking.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm super. Like I said, I'm in a I've been having migraines and stuff, so watching stuff is really hard for me right now.
So what do? You just like sit there in misery?
Yeah, well, I take medication, which makes it better, and then I sit in the dark room with a cold ice pack on my face for about 4 to 6 hours until it passes.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's bad. And
that might be the definition of misery.
I was going to record something for the Patreon yesterday, and I had to cancel 30 minutes before we started because I started getting visual auras, which effectively made it impossible for me to read or see anything.
Oh, that's bad.
I was like, well, I'm getting a migraine, and then I had to go sit in a dark room for 6 hours. So yeah. It's fun. It's fun stuff. I'm in that period. Remember it was like 2 years ago or something where I was having a migraine on the show. It's because I started having that visual aura where I was like, I'm having a migraine.
You're going to just start doing shows with your eyes closed. It's fine.
That's why I'm wearing
the love of the game, baby.
For the love of the game. AEW Continental Classic. I talked about the Blue League. Any thoughts? Are you surprised by the rankings so far? Are you surprised by Daniel Garcia going out this quick? What do you think about the Blue League so far?
You want to hear my thoughts on the Blue League? The Blue League is carrying the Continental Classic. The Blue League has been the pinnacle of the Continental Classic. Not the Pinnacle faction. That was bad. This is good. This is good. I think the Continental Classic has officially lived up to the expectations, and a lot of it comes via the Blue League. I feel like every match is at least good, if not great, if not fantastic. Of course, I'm going to sing the praises of Bryan Danielson now, so you just sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Bryan Danielson is the best wrestler in the world right now. There is no one that hits at the levels that he does on the basis that he does. It is match in and match out that you are getting a fantastic performance worth remembering, worth noting, worth putting in your match guide. Whatever you do to rate great matches, he is doing it right now. Week in and week out. Hell, he did it twice this week. Technically back-to-back days, just not the actual days that the shows aired. But he did them back-to-back days. He had this nasty match with Andrade El Idolo on Collision. He had this great storytelling match with Daniel Garcia. And then, folks, and only then, does he cut these incredible promos that they release. He cut this Cactus Jack-like promo that I was just like, what is happening? Why is this? You know what? I don't care. This is phenomenal. There is no one better right now than the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And I'm going to say it right now, Ryan. I'm going to get bold. He's going to take over my wrestler of the year guide by the end of this. Because here's the thing. He has presumably the trios match. He has that for sure. He has 2 more tournament matches. I'm going to guess he makes the semifinal. So that's going to be 3 more matches. Then he's probably going to have a pay-per-view match. So that's 4 more matches to keep climbing. And when I make my official wrestler of the year lists, I do like some math and look at like how many matches they've had and hit rate. Ain't nobody better than the man Bryan Danielson. Ain't no one better. He has Brody King left, and he has Claudio Castagnoli left.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, baby. That's what the Continental Classic's all about. Everyone else has been good too in the league, but it's been the Bryan Danielson show. He is running away with MVP of the tournament. I think Eddie Kingston's right behind him. I think Mark Briscoe's been great too. But man, he is the story of it. And now we can talk about the other league, I guess.
Well, I just wanted to say, speaking on that Bryan Danielson, I'll take that clip and make that part 2 of our Thez Flair Award discussion from last week, where we were like, Bryan Danielson should be in it. And since we had that conversation, apparently had 2 great matches, right?
If he wasn't injured at all this year, he'd be running away with it.
I think you're right. I think like he is every moment he is maximizing his minutes on why he is the wrestler.
That's my kind of wrestler. Maximize your minutes. It's not about how long you go. It's just about never mind.
Well, let's say that to Haruki Goto.
Oh my god, that's 40.
Not about how long you go. Yeah, and and Farr says that his work hasn't quite hit that next level for Farr, and that's fair. That some people I think are different. We've enjoyed his work this year. We talked about last week that there was a lot of stuff that we could think about. But yeah, I think that Farr has also pointed out is that Bryan Danielson's promo work has far exceeded everybody else's in a tournament where I thought maybe like Eddie Kingston's done a good job, but he's doing something different. Jay White is doing a good job, but he's doing something different. Moxley is fine. He's just being like a tired old grump, which is also fine. Everybody's doing something different. Bryan Danielson is the only guy that like is coming in here and be like, I'm going to destroy. It feels like, well, Roosh a little bit too. But everyone is coming in here like being like, I'm going to come in here and destroy you. And Bryan Danielson is really on the guy. He's really wrecking shop when it comes to promos. He's really good. Okay. Farr clarified his comment. Clarified his comment. Bryan's work is the best. I meant to say everyone else has not hit the level like Bryan.
Okay.
There's the
I was like, that makes more sense. I was like, Farr, I thought you.
I did my best to defend you, Farr, and then the rug was pulled out from underneath me.
Good. Yeah. That was perfect, Farr. Do that again. Keep pulling out the rug from Ryan. It's
Blue League, like we said. Well, I guess
gold. Right?
I'll kind of tie in. I actually don't know. Do we know? Did they announce what the next Blue League matches are yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I know they announced the Gold League matches.
We have winter.
They usually didn't announce that until Dynamite, anyways. But yeah, Danielson has King and Castagnoli left. Andrade has Kingston, King, Castagnoli. Kingston has Andrade and Garcia. Do you think there's a late stage run here? Eddie Kingston won, spoilers, on Collision. Do you think there's a late stage run with Kingston getting 2 more wins against Andrade and Garcia?
Hell yeah, he's running the table, baby.
Mm-hmm. So that would bring, if he wins the next 3 matches, that brings him to 9. Danielson will have to win 1 more to.
I think Danielson beats Brody.
Yeah.
Danielson beats Brody. Garcia beats Brody. Or Andrade, I guess. Andrade could beat him too. But
well, if Danielson gets 1 win, he wins. He beats Kingston. Because then there's a semifinal. Oh, there is semifinals. Oh, I hate semifinals when it comes.
See, I don't. It means I get an extra match.
That's fair in terms of content enjoying. That's fair. But when it
comes
comes
to B1 matches were the semifinals.
It comes to figuring out like
semifinal,
okay, who's going to be this? Oh, it doesn't matter. There's a second place person. The second place person.
It's weird in a tournament like this because there's not that many people.
Yeah.
You know, like the G1 was even weirder though if you really sit down and think about it. But whatever.
But
Gold League.
Gold League. Gold League has at 9 points John Moxley and Swerve Strickland. 6
Aren't
points
three people
Jay
eliminated?
White. Roosh at 3 points. What 3 points? What are we doing? Jay Lethal, Mark Briscoe, both at 0 points, effectively eliminated from the tournament. Thoughts on Gold League?
Yeah. It's been pretty good. Definitely the weaker of the two. John Moxley's been good. Roosh has been good. Mark Briscoe's been good. Swerve's been great. Jay White's been pretty underwhelming, I think.
Yeah. They had that first night that was overall underwhelming for everybody too.
Yeah, right. Jay Lethal's been Jay Lethal. So as expected. I think Mark Briscoe's been the MVP of that block so far.
Yeah.
And he hasn't won a single match.
Because he's wrestled Moxley, Strickland, and Roosh. Those are all.
Yeah, he had a tough start. And he's probably going to lose to Jay as well, but he'd be a good spoiler for White. I know White's already lost, but Moxley and Swerve face each other this week. One of them will get the leg up. It seems like Swerve's just going to get screwed by Hangman one way or the other in the end of this. So we'll see.
Well, yeah, I'm interested to see how that plays out because they have that whole thing of if you get involved, then I think the punishment was being fired. I don't think it was fined. I think it was being fired, if I recall correctly. So
what if he just puts like a video on the screen?
I mean, yeah. I guess you could do that, right? Like you can't
Is
have
that
anyone
ringside.
Yeah, you can't have anyone ringside. So
I don't know.
the way you do it, the way you fix it, get around it, is do a full-on WWE trope of playing Adam Page's music and the entrance and
this is pro wrestling, baby. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, that might be true. I agree. I think Mark Briscoe's been really good. Moxley and Swerve have also been good. They just that first night with Swerve and Lethal was kind of boring, and the Moxley one. Who was Moxley against? Was it Moxley against Roosh? No.
Wasn't it Mark Briscoe?
Yeah, Mark Briscoe. That was the best match of the night.
Yeah.
But Mark Briscoe has been very consistent with it all. Moxley's telling the story, which is fine. And then I
think we'll get our best Gold League match this week. So
Jay White has been, like you said, I agree with being a little underwhelming. Roosh, I think Roosh has been great too. Briscoe has always been good. And then Lethal's lethal. Next week on this upcoming Wednesday night,
winter's coming, baby.
Winter is in fact coming. Yeah, as we transition to a preview for Winter's Coming, we have the 3 Continental Classic Gold League matches: John Moxley versus Swerve Strickland, Roosh versus Jay Lethal, and Jay White versus Mark Briscoe. We also as well as we have on the docket Riho making her return against Ruby Soho. Hangman Adam Page versus a wheelchairless Roderick Strong. We'll hear from Samoa Joe. We'll hear from Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho and the Von Erich family. No, not Zac Efron. No, not Jeremy Allen White, but the actual Von Erich family are making their Dallas return here at Winter's Coming. What do you think about that lineup we have coming?
I think the handling of Kenny Omega is egregious, but besides that, it's a pretty good lineup. It's a lot of work rate. That's essentially what the lineup is.
I like the lineup as a good Dynamite, but I think this lineup sucks as a Winter's Coming.
Well, here's the thing, Ryan. Pretty much everything sucks with MJF.
Is
MJF supposed to be defending the title, but he's hurt.
MJF is not even wrestling. Yeah, you're right. MJF's not even wrestling. Remember at one point we were like,
he tear his rotator cuff or something?
I don't know
and they got out of the match last week by having him get hit by the devil or whatever. So it's just like, let's keep pushing it off.
The history of Winter's Coming is the main event. The first one was a Moxley versus Omega. Second one was MJF versus Dante Martin. And then the third one was MJF versus Starks. The MJF versus Dante Martin one was a Dynamite Diamond Ring. All
right, so this one's better than that.
Yeah. I can look up that card, that 2021 card.
I was doing it. I got it.
But my apologies. The main event of that show was the Dynamite Diamond Ring, MJF versus Dante Martin. That show was the 1 hour time limit draw of Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson to open the show. So
there we go.
this will be the first Winter's Coming with no world title defense, seemingly.
Yeah. Do you know what the devil reminds me of? That we're on the AEW topic.
Sure.
Reminds me of Retribution.
Reminds you of Retribution? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Boring, useless,
going nowhere.
Going nowhere.
Spinning wheels.
The reveal is not going to be as satisfying as maybe it would have been when it first happened.
Whenever
Retribution was never going to be good though. So
whenever we do storylines like this in pro wrestling of like, oh, a mystery person under a mask, I always think back to that story of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the higher power, of like them trying to figure out who the hell are we going to put after we've done all of this time and put Austin through all of this stuff. Who?
It's like the Black Scorpion from WCW. Have you ever read about that?
Oh yeah.
How they had this guy and then they just didn't have a guy to actually face Sting. It's exactly the same thing. And it's like I think AEW has the person, but man, does it feel like they don't.
The higher power gimmick was fully this end of that story is literally just like, I don't know anybody who at all could this be, and they were like, it has to be Vince McMahon. There's nobody else it can be, and everyone was like, well, all right, we have to bring Vince McMahon back into it, full blown heel.
And yes, I did realize that they stopped advertising MJF. They don't have him on any of their match cards for the new year, but that's part of the contract thing, I'm guessing. You know, the contract that he very much has signed.
This devil storyline, like we said, it's spinning wheels. Now you have your world champion. Everyone involved in it is basically injured or fake injured with Project Strong. So everyone involved in it it's just spinning wheels. It's taking up TV time that isn't quite working. And this TV, I mean, right now, I mean, I'm okay with these 3 Continental Classic Gold League matches. I'm fine with it.
They have the match of the Gold League at least on it. With Swerve and Mox. So.
I agree. And they're hyping that up at least. Adam Page, Roderick Strong. I think that's gonna be good. I think it's obviously it's just sort of tainted by the whole Roderick Strong stuff.
Well, if Roddy just wrestles, it'll be great.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't see any reason why he won't wrestle here. It is just sort of like
what a stupid conversation. I hope he wrestles.
I hope he wrestles on this television.
We've lost the plot.
Riho's return. Yeah, that's fine. Ruby So hasn't been that good as of late.
Oh my god! Speaking of Riho, I was listening to the Observer this week. Observer Radio.
As one does.
And Brian and Dave were talking about how Riho comes back. He's like, and they're like, the annual 6-month return of Riho, where she gets a title shot and disappears. And Meltzer could not for the life of him figure out why she keeps disappearing. He's like, she's the most over wrestler every time she shows up. What is happening? And she's good. And I was like, I don't know. If you don't know, who the hell knows? It's like no one knows what is going on with Riho. I don't get it. I'm never going to get it. And the worst part is, you know what the worst part is, Ryan? That's what the worst part is.
What is the worst part?
To lose to timeless Tony Storm. But yeah, Winter's Coming should be good.
I was trying to look up how the tickets were for the past couple Winter's Comings.
Probably good.
All I have is capacity attendance. I don't have the actual ticket number here on Cage Match. Right now, according to WrestleTix, AEW Dynamite Winter's Coming out of College Park Center in Arlington, Texas, has only distributed 2,500 tickets. This update is as of December 7th. I mean, again, I don't have the tickets sales for the past 2 years of Winter's Coming, but at least Cage Match has a capacity of 6,400 and then 5,100.
I'd put money. I'd put cash on the Danielson Hangman match having more people in the building. I'd put not on the first one though, because the first one was during COVID. So
the first one I was like, never mind. Okay. Oh, maybe I found it. From because WrestleTix existed last year. According to WrestleTix, 4,285 tickets have been reportedly been issued for Winter's Coming last year. So last year it was 4,285. This year it's 2,531 so far.
So far. That's the key part. So far. How's Final Battle doing as we break into that preview soon?
Hold on. My
Wait, did I get to talk about Gold League? Yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit. I haven't seen an update on Final Battle in a while, at least post the Danielson announcement. So I'm going to have to scroll back a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, 2,000 less people at your Dynamite taping is, not good.
Aren't they in Texas too?
They are in Texas. They're in Arlington, Texas.
Clearly
you would think it would be a hot spot. It's previously been hot spots for AEW, but I don't know. Something about this couple of recent months has not been as hot for AEW. I don't know what it is.
I could give you a few ideas.
WrestleTix, at least what I'm looking at, they haven't updated since December 8th, which was
December 8th is 2 days ago.
That was actually I believe that was the day they added the FTR Mark Briscoe versus BCC match. So on December 8th, it was 1,000 tickets sold, 1,056 distributed.
Happy they got over the number. Congratulations.
Current setup for 3,700. Let's take that info and ease straight into Final Battle.
Man,
that's real bad, dude. 1,000 people. Let me look up the tickets for Final Battle 2022. 1,000 people. That's... Wait a minute.
So Riho doesn't go to shows they have no creative for? So it's AEW's fault. Got it. Thank you, Far. I appreciate that. I will happily blame them. How do you not have creative for Riho? You have a TBS title that would have made sense for her, like this whole time.
According to this website, TJRWrestling.net, they wrote that last year, the 2022 edition of Final Battle drew a crowd of 2,700.
Hey, you know what happened a year ago today? What happened a year ago today? FTR versus the Briscoes.
Mm-hmm.
Final Battle.
And a year later, 1,000 less
titles don't even exist. We left them on MJF and Adam Cole. Why? Adam Cole's not coming back anytime soon. And this is what we're doing? A year ago, these titles were like the best titles going. The Briscoes won them in one of the best matches of the year. And now they're just a way for MJF to wrestle twice and create a convoluted story on every pay-per-view. Shameful. Let's get to Final Battle.
Ring of Honor Final Battle. Main event, of course. Well, no, sorry, not the main event. This is, I don't know, opener or something. Fight Without Honor. FTR, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, and Mark Briscoe.
Hold on, that's a Fight Without Honor?
That is a Fight Without Honor. That is what Cage Match has it listed as, versus Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Jon Moxley. I also just want to point out here, it was very funny that they announced this match and made the challenge while Wheeler Yuta was standing next to Bryan Danielson. That was awesome. Match.
That was so good.
Didn't make it. Didn't make the cut. Sorry, bud.
They were you know the meme that's like Anakin and Padme is like, you're gonna do this, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Someone edited it.
I'm gonna be in the Ring of Honor match, right?
Right. Hopefully he just defends against Hook or something on the show, since that's makes sense, I guess. I did not know this was a Fight Without Honor.
Yeah, that's what Cage. I'll double check my sources there, but
it is. I'm looking at the graphic. It says Fight Without Honor in the smallest of letters, but it does say it.
Chef's kiss.
Boy, howdy. Things have just got. I just thought this was a regular trios match. Oh boy, these 6 3. These 6 are going to kill each other, and I'm going to love every second of it. They're going to destroy one another in the love of the man, the myth, the legend. He's not a myth. Jay Briscoe. This is going to be very sad. It's going to be very great. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be what a tribute match, huh?
Yeah, no, this is really good. I'm really excited about that.
Is this as good as it gets?
Yeah.
This is also the first time we're getting the top BCC.
All
trio.
3 of them, right? I don't think hasn't been the 3 of them triosing.
And meanwhile, the trios belts in both of these companies are on Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony and the Acclaimed.
I fully forgot where the Acclaimed were recently, and I was like, "What happened to the Acclaimed? Did they just disappear?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, the devil." Ring of Honor Fight Without Battle, Fight Without Honor. I very excited about this. It should, if it lives up to last year's expectations, which has kind of been I feel like kind of the bar set here. I think this should kick ass. You talked about how Bryan Danielson has like 4 matches, and this is one of them. Holy crap! I'm into it. You got Moxley in there too. Claudio's in there. Mark Briscoe is going to be insane as well, and FTR is willing to bleed. I think this match, this card, at the end of the day, unless maybe you were following along with Ring of Honor every single week, I think is really maybe a 2-match card. I think for a normal AEW fan, maybe it might just be a 1-match card. Unless you were following Ring of Honor every week. This match is like, all right, I'll boot up the old Ring of Honor,
the Honor Club.
I'll boot up the old Honor Club and check out this match. This match should be very, very good.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this. It doesn't get much better.
It does get better is a second bit that I had planned for this exact moment, Scotty. Are you ready?
What?
Sorry. Can you say that one more time?
What?
The Ring of Honor roster page has been finally updated. I've been tracking this thing since TK bought it, 2 years ago. The roster page has finally been updated. Can you believe it, Scotty?
What?
We have new additions on the roster page. Billy Starks. We have Charlie Bravo.
Sure.
We have.
I don't think his name's Charlie. I think it's Carly.
I thought it's Carly too. They listed Charlie. Did they change it?
What?
Did they change?
Really?
Did they change the guy's name?
It's Carly Bravo from Atlanta, Georgia.
According to the Gage match, he's Carly. According to I would have to look at the actual Honor Club. They might have changed it on television and no one noticed. But according to the roster page, Charlie Bravo.
Oh my God, it does say Charlie. That's insane.
Also on the roster page, I think officially Eddie Kingston. I don't think he was on it before. Ethan Page is on here. Layla Hirsch, Marina Shafir. Who else? Sean Dean. And that's it. That's all the new additions.
Hey, at least people, right?
They just dropped Chris Jericho
and FTR.
FTR, yeah.
Yeah.
That might have been it.
Is it shocking that MJF and Adam Cole are on here? Nope.
Yeah. Is Wheeler Yuta on here? Yeah, he is. Okay. Oh yeah, Shibata's not on here. That's interesting.
Well, Shibata's not even in the company right now, so
yes, but you get my point. Shibata was your
pure
champion.
I have to play devil's advocate.
Year.
You always play devil's advocate with me. I have to play devil's advocate with you.
Well, the fun part about this is let's go also through the Final Battles pay-per-view and figure out who is on the roster and who's not. So, of course, Fight Without Honor, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, Mark Briscoe versus Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Jon Moxley. That is just Mark Briscoe, the only Ring of Honor roster member. Oh, sorry, Claudio is a Ring of Honor roster member.
You know what they should do on this show?
What's that?
Put Konosuke Takeshita on it. You know why? Because they don't put him on any other show. Remember he beat Kenny Omega
twice. Sorry, I know you want to complain about Konosuke Takeshita, but I think it's more important that we talk about the card.
I want to complain about a lot of things.
I know I think it's important for us to talk about the card right now, Scotty. So I really just want to focus on that. I don't want to do it complaining about anything else because the card really deserves its praise, and it really deserves its the time in the sun, right? That's our jobs here, is to talk about its time in the sun. Next match, I Quit match, Tony Nese versus Ethan Page. Scotty, thoughts?
Why?
Ethan Page, of course, a roster member. Tony Nese is not.
How did this become? Why? Why is this? Who asked for this? And I quit. I quit. Like I do. I'm done. See you later, guys. I'm done. Who cares? Who cares?
I think
you know what this is? This is like this is the fight without honor match between Dutch and the guy in Dark Order. No one gives a shit. At least these two might have a decent match.
Yeah, that ended up being pretty good.
Yeah, but like I Quit matches are bad as is.
If I'm not mistaken,
you are mistaken. Boom roasted.
Tony Nese has done like a death match in the past. Like he's trained a death match wrestler before.
That's
so maybe
great, man.
Maybe they can come in and do some death match spots.
Well, Ethan Page was in the North, so maybe they can do some North spots too. I don't know. I feel like I know nothing about Ethan Page.
Well, I saw you tweet out that he had a good match on Collision this past Saturday.
Yeah, with who? Can't say it.
I believe his name is Kenny Omega.
What an accomplishment! You know who could have a good match with Kenny Omega? Everyone.
It gives people jobs.
Maybe not everyone, but oh yeah, that's true. Shout out Alan Angels.
Next up on the card, Shane Taylor versus Keith Lee. Long-awaited match here. Just want to point out also, neither of them are Ring of Honor roster members, according to.
I was told that Shane Taylor had an absolute one-liner in the video package that they shared. Let me see if I can find it. It was nasty. You can talk about the match though while I look for it.
Well, I mean, this was an interesting match that would have been more interesting, obviously, last year, or whenever they did that tag match. It's been months. Keith Lee has just been like nothing for a long while. Shane Taylor has been in Ring of Honor. He's done stuff in Ring of Honor, but
Ethan Page was part of the new age, the new Nation of Domination.
Sorry, the new Nation of Domination, Ethan Page.
Yeah, this is it's a long story. He was a big Rock fan. Him and Ricochet were teaming in a tag tournament, and by the end of the night, the new Nation of Domination was dead. Anyways.
Well, so more of an irony thing, probably.
Yeah.
I at least pray to God.
Here's what Shane Taylor said. If you ain't gonna try no more, you should have let that disease kill you.
Oh God! Oh God! Oh, Jesus! Oh my God!
I think this match might be really good.
I think it will be. Like, that's the thing. I think this show has a good chance of being really good.
That's what Ring of Honor does, baby.
Maybe great. If we have two,
give you low expectations and over delivers.
So I think the show's gonna be good. I think this match is gonna be very good. It's just, we had this conversation about, weirdly enough, All In, where it was like, I'm sure this show's gonna be great, but it's come together so haphazardly, so last second, that it's hard to feel excited about any of this.
Well, here's the problem. It doesn't have the Ring of Honor World Champion because that belt's being defended in a tournament. They don't have the tag champions because, as Farr said, TK slapped those belts on MJF because of how hot and cold were in July. I don't know if it was the last ditch effort to sell Ring of Honor, but that would be even funnier. And look at this. This is an ROH pay-per-view finally, and he's not on it. So that sucks.
Yeah.
And I know he's hurt too, but that's my point. Why even keep the title on him? There's no Ring of Honor television champion.
Yeah, let's get to that match next. The vacant Ring of Honor World TV title will be up for grabs in a Survival of the Fittest six-way elimination match. I don't believe Survival of the Fittest has any other different gimmick rules. I believe it's just basically an elimination match. But in this match, we have 5 of the 6 competitors. I believe we'll get the 6-1 on this upcoming episode of Ring of Honor. Actually, it might have been.
I'm looking, and there's not a single match that makes me think it was.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, there might be a taped match, but because Collision it was taped already. So I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. I don't know how we're gonna do that. But so far, 5 of the 6 competitors, according to Cage Match, are Dalton Castle, Kyle Fletcher, Lee Moriarty, Commander, and Lee Johnson, with the 6th person yet to be named. And again, looking at this roster page, only Dalton Castle is a Ring of Honor roster member in this match. So far, 1 of the 5 competitors.
I like the young guys getting a shot and Dalton Castle.
I do too. I think this is a fine spot.
This is what Ring of Honor should be, by the way, with the Moriartys and Lee Johnsons and Kyle Fletchers of the world.
Commander as well.
Commander, yeah.
Yeah. Dalton Castle, like you said, I think he sticks out a little bit too much like a sore thumb here. I would love for this match to be 6 young dudes.
I've never been...
No offense to 37-year-old Dalton Castle.
I've never been a Dalton Castle guy. So 1, sue me. 2, him being in this just like doesn't work for me. I would have done all 6 young guys, chance for any of them to really have a shot. So I'll be extra upset if he wins.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see like Lee Moriarty win. Lee Moriarty has been so underutilized, man. Like he's one of those guys that I wish didn't sign because he would be tearing it up like on the indies. He probably would have went to Japan by now.
Yeah.
And instead he's popping up once in a while on the indies, and you got to watch Ring of Honor to see him.
Yeah, he had a good early AEW run. They put him in with the Firm, and then I don't know why. I don't know who the Firm was wrestling against. Or
do you remember that sick match though that he was in?
Yeah,
Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty versus Leo Rush and Dante Martin. I can't tell you how many times I remember that match and how amped I get about what could have been.
Yeah. The Firm was also set up to be very interesting, and then it sort of collapsed due to CM Punk MJF stuff.
Whoa. Hey. CM Punk's just having a good time in WWE now. I don't know what he did to you.
Punching's bad. We all know this.
Punching's bad.
So that he sort of fell apart there, and then he's just been floundering ever since. CM
Punk or Lee Moriarty.
That's a great point. I don't want to give all the hate to Dalton Castle. I like him. I think Dalton Castle, Lee Moriarty would be an interesting matchup here. Kyle Fletcher, Commander will be a very interesting matchup, I think. Lee Johnson's there. I think it's going to be an interesting match nonetheless. Again, it's just sort of like, who cares a little bit. That's the whole energy I have going into this preview.
That's the spirit. Should be a good match, but who cares?
If I had to remove that energy for one match, other than Fight Without Honor, it would probably be the Ring of Honor Women's World Title match between 2 Ring of Honor roster members. That's right, the only match where 100% of the participants are Ring of Honor roster members are 2 people, especially one person that has been carrying Ring of Honor for the past year, and that is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the main event of the show. Athena versus Billy Starks.
I'm pretty hyped for this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the best match of Billy Starks' career. I think if this is the end for Athena, then what a run it was. I've followed along when they post the videos on the socials. I follow along their story. They've told it really well. I think this is the match you should be invested in. If you're looking for Ring of Honor TV to make you invested. And I'm happy they're main eventing. That's main event number 2 for Athena. Deserved, I would say. And yeah, I think this is going to be a really well told story with Billy being the underdog, being the babyface, trying to take down the unbeatable Athena. It writes itself, really. I think this should rock. And if there's anything to take away from Ring of Honor, it's that the women's division led by Athena has been very solid.
Yeah. I'm very intrigued to see how this match goes. I think it should be very good. Athena, like you said, has ruled all year. She had that match of Yuka Sakazaki at Supercard of Honor. She had a fantastic match of Willow Nightingale at the other show. What's the other show called?
Death Before Dishonor.
Death Before Dishonor. Thank you. And I don't think there's any reason for her not to have a great match here again with Billy Starks. I do know that she's coming into it with
broken nose, right?
Yeah, broken nose. So that might hurt it a little bit, but I think that
wear that thick mask that people wear.
Yeah, if Pac can do it, she can certainly do it. And yeah, I think this is a good time. If we are, as we all believe, coordinating Billy Starks here, like you said, or like we talked about a little bit with Diana Perrazzo earlier in the show. If we're coordinating Billy Starks, I think this is a good match to do so. But there's obviously, if we're moving Athena up to the main roster, quote unquote, then
down for the women's division, but sure.
Yeah. Then that will be a big hole to need to be
She
filled.
should beat Toni Storm tomorrow if that's what they do. Like, they shouldn't even wait. I know, like, the whole story is between Toni Storm and Mariah May. Listen. Just give Athena one of the belts, please.
I fear that they'll have Athena feud with Toni Storm, and they'll do sort of like a Werewolf in London gimmick because Athena was like kind of like a werewolf person, Ember Moon in WWE, and Toni Storm is British and an old-timey movie star. So Werewolf in London, maybe that could be the gimmick there.
Toni Storm is British.
old-timey movie star and British.
She is British.
Yeah, I mean,
she sure is.
I don't want to take it away. We have a lot of obviously issues with this match, but or AEW surrounding, but this match should honestly be very good. I don't think there's any reason for it to not hold up and not.
Really like.
Obviously wants to put over Billy Starks huge. So
I really like Billy Starks. Like, I think Billy is very interesting because, like, she went to Japan last year for TJPW for like 2 or 3 matches. She came back
end of last year or something.
Yeah. She faced Yuka for the title. She
Yeah.
came back a lot better. And then she's got a lot of opportunities since then. And she's like someone that benefited from not only doing indies anymore.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because she still does a lot of indies, which is good because she gets to work on her craft and stuff. But she benefited from getting to go on a Ring of Honor and kind of learn the ropes there. And then she gets paired with Athena. I think she's great. I think she's the future of women's wrestling here in the America.
Bold claim.
In every way.
Bold claim.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's great. I think everyone sees her as being. She's 19 years old now, and she's about to potentially become Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. I think that's huge for her.
Would you like to know how many matches Billy Starks has had so far this year?
I would love to.
Take a guess.
100.
More.
150.
Less.
135.
Less.
125.
A little less. 119.
All right. I don't know why you thought I was going to get the exact number, but
yeah,
whatever.
That's why I gave up. But 119 matches.
That's a lot of matches.
That is a lot of matches. She's wrestled. Holy shit! How many promotions did she wrestle in?
All of them. This is why she's improving, folks.
She wrestled on OVW this year, apparently.
She wrestled everywhere for a good amount of time.
GCW, Ring of Honor, AEW, Action, Wrestling Revolver, MLW, Black Label Pro.
Look at it now.
Tokyo Joshi Pro, Defy, New Japan's on there, but that's just
MLW, Kitsune,
OVW, West Coast Pro. The list goes on and on. She's had
for her
more matches. Last year she had more matches, but it was 131. But still, this year 119.
She got hurt for a little bit this year.
Yeah, she'll definitely fill up a little bit more there. Yeah, she's improved a lot. These past 2 years have been a lot of improvement for her. And I think this might be the time to coordinate her. Is there any % chance that Athena gets the win and Billy Starks loses? Is there any reason story-wise to have Athena get the win here?
Yeah, because Willow should have beat her.
Fair argument. Fair
Willow Nightingale and the handling of her after beating Mercedes Moné absolutely breaks my brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a chance that Billy can lose here. End the year with Athena on top still. Try to get that 1,000 days. At this point, you're 80 days away. Kind of pull the Roman Reigns type thing, right? Like, oh, we're so close. But I'd like to see Billy get the big win too. I think that would be cool. And kind of again, lets Athena go up in the roster.
Yeah, that's the hope at the very least.
They need her.
I agree. Ring of Honor Final Battle is this upcoming Saturday. You can watch it on Honor Club
only.
Honor Club only, not anywhere else. It's on Honor Club. So
I know we will.
It's at what
we have to.
$15, I think. Honor Club is
$15,
right? Not $10. What is it?
I have no idea.
Is this a $10 pay-per-view? God.
I just leached.
How can I not find out? How is this hard?
Am I allowed to not? Am I not allowed to say that? I didn't do it. I didn't leech.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. Final Battle. $10 or something for this show. Last before we go, I want to talk about for sure Rev Pro has another big time show for themselves in London, England. A Rev Pro Uprising.
Our viewer list went from up to 0 when you said Rev Pro. That's interesting.
I know. The moment I talk about Rev Pro, no one wants to hear about it. But Rev Pro has been, I think, one of the best, if not the best, indies of the year. I think it deserves way more praise, and I don't care if our viewer count dropped because I'm talking about Rev Pro.
I care. To the viewers.
So upsetting to see that.
That I care about the viewers. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But let's talk a little bit about this. I think this has some stuff that can be very interesting for a lot of people. Scotty, would you like to know about this card for Rev Pro Uprising?
If I say no, are you still going to say it?
Of course. Your main event.
I would love to hear it.
Main event that I think is going to get mixed feelings for you, Scotty. Rev Pro undisputed British heavyweight title match. Michael Oku defending his title against Zach Gibson. One half of the grizzled young veterans coming in back to Rev Pro. An interesting response.
I can't stand Michael Oku. I'm gonna watch it though.
Yeah, Zach Gibson's real good. I really like Zach Gibson.
He sure is. He's gonna hit that Shaylee Gates.
And
I'm gonna be sitting there. I'm like, yeah, tap out, Oku, tap out.
And this is
a live stream of it.
And this is at minute 34.
Minute 34 in the match. Tap out, you bastard. I hope Zach Gibson wins.
I really do
Mostly
too.
For my interest.
Me too. I would love to see Zach Gibson get the win here. Rev Pro undisputed British cruiserweight title match. Connor Mills versus Leon Slater. Of course, let's not forget TNA signed Leon Slater. So will he win here?
Most people have forgotten.
Yeah, most people have forgotten. Will he win here? I don't know. TNA is coming up around the corner. But at the very least, Connor Mills versus Leon Slater. I mean, this is two young guys gonna come out and probably kill it. Connor Mills has done a really good year. Leon Slater has really popped off even more this year. I don't see any reason why this match shouldn't be a fun wrestling showcase.
If they were smart, they would capitalize on the excitement of Leon Slater.
I agree. I think you built up Leon Slater, especially
mostly
going
into I don't know who Connor Mills is.
Yeah. You could belt up Leon Slater and pop off going into TNA and be like, oh yeah, he's our champion. So people might watch.
I think it'd be smart. And I think Leon Slater's good. So
I agree. Only 19 years old, by the way. Fun fact. God damn, these young kids. I'm over here
A lot
having
of-
migraines, and this guy's
a lot of young
flippy
pro
dudes.
wrestling. We're talking about Billy Starks and
Mhm.
Leon Slater, and I think I talked about Azumi earlier.
Mhm.
These people are 21 and not younger, folks.
Again, meanwhile, I'm over here having 4 migraines over the course of 3 weeks. I'm falling apart. Next up, Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's Title match: Alex Windsor versus Danny Luna.
Is that the one from Impact?
Danny Luna.
Danny Luna? Yeah.
I
With
don't.
the two guys that I can't think of. Flash
Yeah,
Morgan Webster and Andrews.
and Mark Andrews. Yes, I don't actually know if they're signed. According to Cage Match, their promotion is listed as Impact Wrestling. I don't actually know if they're signed or not. But
Well, wait. Oh, Swerve Impact roster page. I swerved you on that one. She's on here.
yeah, there we go. Impact Wrestling's Danny Luna. Sorry, TNA Wrestling's Danny Luna challenging
people, huh?
Alex Windsor. Yeah, that should be good as well.
That was a great bit right there.
That was a solid bit. Again, a match I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one. Volador Jr.
Yeah, woo! He's missing Andrade's return to CML for this damn match
versus Trent Seven. He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Impact's TNA's own. 3 TNA guys back to back, by the way. TNA's own Trent Seven. Thoughts?
Why? Do you remember how bad that Trent Seven Michael Oku match was?
It just went on forever.
You know how bad that was? Well, here's the thing. This is going to be better because Volador Jr. is so much better than Michael Oku. But my God, really? You bring in Volador Jr. and you put him against Trent Seven? Those don't even match up. Ah, man. I mean, I'm gonna watch it because it's Volador Jr. But man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
A little bit of a disappointment. Let's see if we can turn
little
around
bit.
Here. Let's see.
Little bit.
The Great British Tag League Finals. We have the team of I believe we have the team of Ricky Knight Jr. and Anthony Ogogo.
What?
Facing whoever wins today's match of Sunshine Machine, Greedy Souls, or Subculture. So that will be the lineup for the finals of the Great British.
Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah, he popped up here. He worked the Great British Tag League, and I think he won pretty much all his matches.
Tempted to watch it.
Oh,
just
I'm
because of Anthony Ogogo. I know you're going to watch it. You watch full shows. I understand. I will watch it because are we reviewing this next week? I assume.
Assuming we can watch it live and Rev Pro doesn't have weird stuff happening with them. Yeah, ideally. For me, at least I'll be watching it live. At least I'm gonna try.
Anthony Ogogo, timeout. Anthony Ogogo, right?
Yeah.
Won.
Yeah. Just about to get to this. Go ahead.
What? He only had one match. He won a Great British Tag League Block A match by himself against Lycos Jim.
Yeah.
He wasn't in a single other tournament match before this.
Yeah, I'm double checking that because it's Cage Match. They don't necessarily have everything up all the time.
No, they have everything. With Rev Pro, they have everything.
Oh, perfect. Then there we go.
They literally have everything. I'm looking right now. What?
I think we're losing our mind. This show.
Oh, it was the Knights, Ricky Knight Jr. and Zach Knight.
Yes, that's what it was. And then Zach Knight had to step out, and Anthony Ogogo took the spot. I think he got
by
injured.
himself.
Apparently, because I think Ricky Knight Jr. also might have gotten injured.
What is this company?
I don't know.
This is the company you're trying to fly the flag for. You're going, bruv, look at this. And they have Anthony Ogogo winning tournament matches by himself.
Well, okay, can I turn it around for you a little bit? Can I attempt to turn things around?
No, because I know what's next.
Will Ospreay versus Gabe Kidd.
Ugh. Did you see that promo?
Which the Bruv-off?
Yeah, the Bruv-off. So I'm telling you right now.
I saw it. I didn't hear it. I don't know. There was like a droning noise that went off in my ear that I couldn't really.
So I'm telling you this now. I didn't watch it. You know why? Because I don't like listening to Gabe Kidd talk, let alone talk for 2 straight minutes on an Instagram live video. But what I did see was Ospreay absolutely losing his shit by spinning in his chair. I thought that was very funny.
Yeah. The Bruv-off of 2020.
The Bruv-off. Yeah, this is interesting.
I mean, his match should be good. His match should be good.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Maybe, probably, perhaps. I have no idea.
Do you think? His partner will be making an appearance? Alex Coughlin. Do you think David Finlay will be making an appearance to shuck off Will Ospreay out of New Japan, out of Rev Pro?
Are you trying to make this worse?
I'm trying to do some sort of preview over here. Is what I'm trying to.
That's do. Not a preview. You're throwing the war dogs at me. That's just trying to upset me. These are not my dogs for real. Match will be. I'm sure the match will be good. I will give you that. Based off of every match we've talked about so far, this maybe gonna be the best. Maybe. Probably.
This should be a good show. I got 3 more. Got 3 more matches for you.
Oh my god. Okay.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus JJ Gale. Someone that's been trying to get a match.
Technical guy, right?
JJ Gale.
Yeah. I know who Zack Sabre Jr. is. Thank you. He is also that technical guy. To be
fair. He is a technical wrestler. He's not Jordan Breaks, who is like the pale.
Oh, that was the one I was thinking of.
He is not that, but he is a guy that has been trying to get a match with Zack Sabre Jr. since before the 11th anniversary show, where that match at the 11th anniversary show with JJ Gale versus Kosei Fujita.
Oh, yeah, that's the guy.
JJ Gale had to beat Fujita to get a match with Zack Sabre Jr. That happened in August. The match is finally happening here at.
That's the worst rated match from the anniversary show. Great.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It wasn't anything special.
Hardcore country.
Don't do this for me. Don't do this to me. But yeah, I think this match should be good because I think, in my opinion, Zack Sabre Jr. has been one of the best wrestlers of the year in 2020.
Hardcore country.
We got a street fight.
Who the hell is Luke Jacobs?
I'm getting to him.
Okay.
Street fight. Robbie X versus Spike Trivet.
If you said Dudley, I was gonna pop so hard. You did not say Dudley, so I'm not as excited. Who's Spike wrestling?
He is wrestling Robbie X in a street fight. They've been feuding. Spike Trivet basically is the Progress World Champion. He came into Rev Pro. I forget which show it was. Came into Rev Pro, and sort of Robbie X has been fighting him off. And now we have a street fight here. Robbie X versus Spike Trivet.
Sorry. Sure.
Yeah, should be fine. And the last match for the preview, before we get out of here, Luke Jacobs versus Tomohiro Ishii. A rematch. A rematch from the 11th anniversary show. The best match of that show.
Well, that was not the best match of that show for me, but sure.
Best match for me. That match ruled. That match was the Ryan Classic right there.
That is the Ryan Classic, so I'm not at all shocked that was your favorite match. It was very close to being my favorite match. Actually, I don't remember. Whatever. That's besides the point. This should be great.
Yeah. Just pick up where they left off.
I just hope I can hear it. Some people might think that's a shot at Rev Pro, and it is.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely taking it to that. because it is a shot at their production. I'm learning that you were like basing this match, this preview off of Cage Match. There's a very good chance Ospreay main events. It could be his last Rev Pro show.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very good. Well, I mean, I think there's a good chance.
It won't
I know
be his last Rev Pro
if
show,
he's going
but
to
it could be.
if he's going to AEW, he's probably going to continue trying to work Rev Pro. But
Not
yeah.
if he is. We
Yeah.
saw him sign.
No, sorry. Yes, he is going to AEW. I imagine he is going to try to continue working Rev Pro as part of his deal. I do not know. He at least can still work New Japan. So
that's true. No, it's still making me lose my mind. The Anthony Ogogo thing, like that is so.
Of all the things I said, that one.
But like, just think about it. He wasn't in the tournament the whole time. He walks in, beats 2 guys by himself, and now he's in the final of a tag league.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this tag league was better than World Tag League? I hope the final ain't 40 minutes.
Which do you think was watched more? I mean, got to be World Tag League, right?
I will put everything on it being World Tag League.
But yeah, I think the show, I'm very intrigued about the show. Again, you can watch it on RevPro's on demand. RevProOnDemand.com is where you can watch it. It is happening this Saturday. I would highly recommend watching the show live because who knows how long it's going to take to be uploaded after the fact.
I'm definitely going to forget to watch it live.
Yes, it has happening. I had it in front of me. Bell time is 5:30 p.m. GMT.
So 12:30
So 12:30 noonish here, right? So check out that show. I like I said,
change their name.
What's that?
They should change their name.
Rev Pro should change the name. Why?
To Brev Pro. Thank you. I'm here all night. All right. But it's
Acknowledge me.
Damn right. I think Brev Pro would be hilarious. Will Ospreay, I've given you a t-shirt idea, by the way. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Like I said, I think Rev Pro has been one of the best indies of the year. So go check out.
This is the only show we're reviewing next week.
Let's look at my little calendar here.
It's the only show we preview besides Winter is Coming. So...
Well, Ring of Honor Final Battle.
Oh, we have so many reviews next week. By the way, everyone, before we forget, is our second to last show of the year because we will not be recording on Christmas Eve weekend.
Yeah, no. Well, I haven't heard any updates. It's either a second to last show or our third to last show. I have not heard any updates about
It's our last. Okay, let me rephrase.
Second
next
last
week's
live
our
show.
last. Yes, that's second last live show. So, if you're enjoying what you're hearing and you like listening live, I'm sorry, we will not be doing that on Christmas Eve. We will be doing it on New Year's Eve, though.
That is true. But if you always want to listen to us live, head over to YouTube. I believe it's youtube.com/CountOutPod is actually what it is. And if you missed the live show, listen to us on any podcast app that is available to you.
Next week, baby.
Next week, reviewing Final Battle, Uprising, and I don't know if we'll be reviewing Winter's Coming, but we'll see.
Previewing.
Yeah,
World's End.
Everything under the sun, I think.
No, we have the week after too. Stardom Dream Queendom.
Stardom Dream Queendom 3 and World's End is what we'll be previewing next week. So big time show next week as well. 2 reviews, 2 previews coming at you. Ideally, well, not even ideally, we'll be coming at you live next week. Factually coming at you live. And then hopefully we'll have a special episode that comes out on the 24th, maybe a little bit later than I don't know, but we'll figure that out. Still haven't figured it out. And then of course we'll have the live show New Year's Eve on the 31st. We'll be talking about a bunch of more stuff. So we got some jam-packed stuff. Again, always just make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube so you can make sure that you get the
notification.
Get the notification that the show is happening. Shout out to Far in the comment. Shout out to Gwyn Evans in the comment. Far wrote, "You guys helped me survive this early morning, Sunday morning at work. So thank you regardless." First of all, Far, you're working on Sunday morning? Oh,
working on Sunday morning. You're welcome, everyone.
Got to work? Oh, that stinks.
That's life, baby. I've been there. I've been there far. Trust me. I'm happy we could help.
And that's the whole point. Is
we're here every Sunday morning.
There's no better way to get your week started than Ring Post Radio, baby.
Wait a minute, Far, aren't you on the West Coast?
On the West Coast, holy shit! What? That's insane. We'll get those updates as we go on. But Scotty, tell us, give us some plugs. Match of the week. Let's close out the show.
Right. Let me plug it up. At Scotty Wrestling on X/Twitter. If you want to follow me, if you don't already. Plugs this week, another episode of Stardom Road. It'll be our final episode of 2023. That might be a surprise to Ryan. But we will not be releasing one over the final week as we're planned because we want to kick off the year with a special episode. So this will be our final episode of the year. It will be about Jungle Kiona, part 2. So if you're into that, definitely listen. I know a lot of people like to listen post our episodes, like weeks after. So keep listening. We have a lot of great episodes up. Go listen to them.
It'd be a good time to catch up. If you're behind on Stardom Road, it's a good time to catch up and listen to all the old historical
Absolutely
stuff.
We're giving you 3 weeks to catch up or something. I don't know the math. Let's see, what else plugs do I have? Well, Stardom Dream Queendom's coming up, so that means I'm busy.
If I'm not mistaken, there also might be like a special thing in the new year for Stardom Road, maybe.
Oh yeah, there's plan for a possible video of me and Trent for the first time doing Stardom Road. I'm gonna have to make art for that though, so that's a headache.
Well, but if you need help, let me know.
yeah. I know. What else? I think that's it. On the plug side of things. Next week I'll have a lot of plugs because it is the year-end stuff that we're approaching. Match of the week. There was a lot of great wrestling this week. I kind of already talked about Bryan Danielson, Bryan. Oh, you're East Coast Far. Okay. I don't know why I thought you were West Coast. I think it's blame hard on that one. He made me think you were West Coast. Anyways, okay, that's far more reasonable. Hope works okay. Thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. Anytime you need to get yourself, stop paying attention to work, we're happily here for you. Match of the week, because I don't want to name a Danielson match. I'm going to go with the All Japan Real World Tag League Final between Kento Miyahara and Yume Oyagi versus Katsuhiko Nakajima and Hokuto Omori. Ryan.
Yes.
I believe I have my tag team of the year.
Ooh. And
I believe it's Kento and Yuma Aoyagi. I think I've settled on it being them with a great final. I think their consistency has been through the roof. I think that these two,
plus they've had a couple singles matches as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that too, without a doubt. They actually had one of the great tag matches. They're opposing each other, I realized.
Yeah.
From earlier in the year, but ever since they got back together, they've been great. And they've really pushed All Japan to a whole new level of popularity. All Japan's hot right now in Japan. They're getting good numbers. That year-end show is going to be huge for them. I can't wait. So, that is my match of the week. Check it out, please. I think All Japan's worth checking out. We're talking about it a lot in the new year, baby, because I'm making Ryan do it. So,
I'm into it. I'm into All Japan.
We're replacing Noah. That's the beauty of it.
That's the ultimate beauty of it is we're dropping Noah. I watched some wrestling matches earlier in the week before my migraine stuff really got going.
Before you had a neck problem and a migraine.
I've had a neck problem for the past 2-3 weeks. Dude, I'm on so much Advil. Anyways, so I've been working a little project. Maybe this is a little tease of it all. But a little tease ski, maybe a little bit. So my match of the week, if you can believe it, is going to be from here we go. From New Japan Cup Night 9 in March 21, 2018 is Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. That was Zack Sabre Jr.'s win for the first time of winning the New Japan Cup.
Go Ace.
Go Ace. Well, he lost. So
yeah.
he lost. But yeah. So that was a match I watched early in the week. It was a great match. And maybe that's a little bit of tease of something that's coming down to patreon.com/countoutpod.
That's so true. Sorry.
As we get into the new year.
All Japan has been the most consistent promotion in Japan this year, which is absurd. Anyways.
Yeah, they've been really
Was the match good? I don't remember that match at all.
It was great. It was a great match. It built off of
knees. I remember that.
I watched of course. This was post IC title Tanahashi, I believe.
Oh yeah. Wait, no. IC title was dead by then. IC title died in 2020.
Yes, but this is 2018.
I think you said 2021.
No, I said 2018.
Then that was definitely great.
Yes, it was. I watched this match back to back with the Tanahashi Zack Sabre Jr. IC title match in September of 2017 at Destruction Hiroshima. And so this match I thought was a little bit not as good as that previous one. Part of it being a little bit longer, and you know me. But it successfully built off of the IC title match and built off of it into a great job here with Zack Sabre Jr. getting the win over Tanahashi in his second main event ever, I think, in New Japan. So good spot, good stuff there. Plugs. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Knightsey. Follow Scotty at Scott E Wrestling. Follow the whole network at Count Out Pod. Like Scotty said, Ring Post Radio, you can listen to that wherever you get the podcast. Stardom Road's got a new show out this week. I assume also that You're Just a Death, I believe, also has another episode coming out this week. Kind of Shorts, when is their next episode? That should be soon, because they will be having, of course, their Wrestle Kingdom preview. And, of course, in the new year, the Wrestle Kingdom review. So Okada Shorts will be all that New Japan talk. I am excited about the end of the year as we get into the new year. We got some projects we're working on, like I talked about, on patreon.com/countoutpod. That project I'm working on will be on a $5 tier if you're interested. I'll probably do the first episode on the $3 tier as well. And we got new stuff coming in the Patreon, and we'll have the year-end awards, obviously, announced nominations and whatnot, and voting in the new year, because we got to get through the All Japan show first and World's End and Dream Queendom 3 before we start talking about match of the years, probably.
Man.
At least I hope we get some match of the year contenders at those 3 back-to-back pay-per-views.
Hardcore country.
I just realized in this moment that those are 3 back-to-back pay-per-views that are gonna kick ass.
Oh my God, 29th, 30th, and 31st. Oh, Jesus.
I just realized that. I'm like, oh no. Oh, no.
And we can't even watch Nakajima. I'm not going to. Nakajima Miyahara before you record on the 31st.
No, probably not. Probably not. Well, I mean, in a
that
way that
sucks.
In a way that sucks. In a way that's also fine, because
unless we record at 10, we can start at 9. We'll talk about it.
We can talk about it. All right. So until next week, we'll be back then. Until then, we'll see everybody. Goodbye.
You can take me higher.
Yeah.
To a place.